Meteorologist Matthew East here with you in the Weather on the Ones Forecast Center. This is the Tuesday, January 26th edition of the Carolina Weather Video. And, of course, a lot of buzz growing about the potential for some winter weather late this week. And I'm going to get into that in depth here on this edition of the video. And things still looking very promising overall at the point that I'm cutting this video this morning. Let me show you, first of all, temperatures this morning. A much chillier start today compared to yesterday. Temps down into the 30s across much of the region this morning. Snow's been occurring up in the North Carolina mountains. That continues to some extent this morning. That'll wind down with time today. And overall, fairly quiet in a lot of spots, although you do have some snow in the Great Lakes and interior New England, rain near the coast, and still some precipitation out west. But here is the system of interest, and this is a pretty potent low-pressure area, upper-level low, that's approaching the California coast. And that'll be another really significant precip maker for California. Then this one's going to dive down to the south and head our way. And that'll be our late-week storm system. Now, obviously, it's still over the Pacific Ocean. It's where you don't have a ton of upper air observations. But with that said, there's a fairly decent amount of consistency amongst the modeling overall. Details, of course, tough to nail down, but the consistency is pretty good from model to model. Now, let me show you a look at the GFS here. This is the 6Z run of the GFS. 1 o'clock this afternoon. It's still going to be a little breezy today. Highs upper 40s in most spots, maybe a few low 50s, but the winds not as significant today as they were yesterday. Then tonight, lows drop into the 20s. Tomorrow, a lot of sunshine. Upper 40s to lower 50s for highs tomorrow afternoon. Then we got to Thursday. Thursday, the warmest day of the week, as we'll probably try to sneak a day up into the mid-50s for a lot of our highs across the North Carolina Piedmont. But notice, while we're enjoying a relatively mildish kind of day Thursday, brutally cold air here in the Great Lakes region in the northeast, and that is going to be quickly pressing our way at the same time. Area of low pressure in Texas. And you're looking at some snow in the northern fringe of this, and then significant icing being indicated here in parts of the southern plains into the Ozarks. Let's go out one day later, 1 o'clock in the afternoon Friday. And the GFS moves this low into Alabama. And I will say the GFS is actually one of the farthest north at the time I'm cutting this video with the track of this low pressure area. So the GFS verbatim is indicating a very chilly rain, Mississippi and Alabama, probably a zone of ice somewhere in there around the Tennessee Valley, and then you get up into some heavy snow in the Ozarks then at that point. This is 1 o'clock Friday afternoon into the parts of Kentucky and Tennessee and trying to spill over into North Carolina. But like I said, GFS is actually one of the farther north models. Some of the other models take that heavy wintry precip right on down into North Mississippi and North Alabama. Here we are 7 p.m. on Friday. Low pressure near Dothan. And that cold air, this is the freezing line up at 850 millibars. And then you not only is it cold up to that layer, but you get the cold air damming that's very pronounced underneath it. And so you're looking at surface temperatures in much of North Carolina, even dipping down toward the upstate of South Carolina, that are below freezing. And then we see that precip continue to march on in. The precip on the GFS at its heaviest Friday evening and Friday night as that low pressure scoots on through. And taken verbatim, that's a pretty decent, actually pretty significant winter weather event. And pretty much all the modeling this morning is on board, indicating this winter weather potential. And then the system pulls away. These are the total QPF amounts off of that 6C GFS and a widespread area of 3/4 inches or more across our region in terms of total QPF. I'll show you a couple of frames from some of the other modeling. This is the Canadian, valid 7 o'clock in the evening on Friday evening. And then here we are at 7 a.m. Saturday, generally in good agreement. The European model, this is 7 p.m. on Friday and 7 a.m. on Saturday. General agreement. The European remains one of the slower and probably more correct solutions in terms of the timing of this. So, what does all this mean? I see absolutely nothing to change my thoughts that this has the potential to bring some significant wintry weather around the region. In fact, taken verbatim, almost every model is indicating that scenario, that at least for North Carolina, this is a significant winter weather event, and a lot of the foreign models are indicating that significant wintry precip dips down into South Carolina maybe even northeast Georgia. And again, you get on the other side of the mountains, Tennessee looks like a big winter weather hit, and maybe North Alabama, North Mississippi, and certainly back into the Ozarks. This is going to be a big deal. So all the players are on the field for a big-ticket winter weather event across the southeast, but exactly nailing down the exact locations and the exact amount at this point is very tough to tell. But all things looking fairly good if you're looking for winter weather across the southeast. Again, we'll fine-tune the exact zones of who might see what and when as we get closer to this potential event. It's not set in stone yet, but things, I see nothing to change my thinking that the potential is there this morning. And boy, behind the system, it's going to get cold this weekend. Some of the 2-meter temperatures from the European, single-digit temperatures in the Piedmont possible by Monday morning. And yeah, you get some snow cover on the ground, and that's a very real possibility. Now, quick look down the line. Arctic oscillation still in the negative category. NAO begins to turn back toward negative the deeper we get into February. A couple of random frames here from the GFS. It has another system moving through next Tuesday, around Groundhog's Day. And then notice the GFS tries to keep through the end of the run a lot of that really cold air bottled up in the northern half of the country. Now, that air mass is very cold. And if that is correct, then we'll certainly see some intrusions of that down into the south from time to time. I see really nothing to indicate a change in my thinking for February. It looks cold, occasionally stormy. So a fun February probably ahead as well. All right, that's it for today's edition of the Carolina Weather Video. Thanks so much for watching. Have a wonderful Tuesday, and God bless.